On our way to the Marathon Expo. We have been looking forward to this since the day we signed up to the race.
Almost as excited for the expo as the actual run. Dangerous time to be a wallet right now.
It's a very dangerous time to be your wallet in particular. I love all the running signs everywhere. How much do you think you're going to spend in total?
600 Australian.
Okay.
Which is 400-ish.
I predict you're going to spend 355 US dollars. Picked up our bibs. Now we get to get our t-shirts. Did not see any of our favorite fitness influencers, unfortunately. We missed everyone. Well, they are not here at the same time as us.
Yeah,
I'm back.
Are you both ready for the first time?
yeah.
Yes.
I'm about the first time.
We were wondering what that was the whole time.
Yeah, so we just
Like
want
it.
to celebrate you guys.
The checkout line was an absolute mood booster, and walking through the rest of the expo stalls also was a great way to just get into the mental zone of tomorrow. Being around other runners is contagious, so even if you don't want to buy anything, highly recommend really soaking in everything in the expo hall.
So what do you want to do with this platform? You mentioned the work you're doing with healthcare in Texas. You've also been a big advocate of diversity in STEM.
Honestly, gonna make that 26.2 miles so much more enjoyable.
I wonder if someone's gonna like grab one and run and say, catch me.
Find our name on the massive runner name wall. Okay, we've spent about 3 hours at this expo, so we're done. And we got lots of merch, which we already knew we were going to do. But yeah, that was fun. I really liked the course route overview session that they had. It was very detailed and very, very helpful. Okay, it's vlogger season, guys. We're on our way to our shakeout run because it is Marathon Eve. Going to a shakeout run by runner, and hopefully we will see some of the fitness creators that we follow, that we are fangirling really hard. It's a bit chillier today compared to the last few days, which is good because tomorrow should be a little bit cooler again. Bit dirty. We have never done a group run before, let alone a shakeout run pre-marathon, so this was a great idea. We found out about it on the Runner and also the Strava Instagram accounts, so keep out for this if you are doing the New York Marathon in future years. There are a ton of shakeout runs around the city.
It just means so much to have you all here today. So just want to say a massive thank you for myself, Ben, the rest of the team. Ask us if you've got any questions. We're happy to talk about Runner, tell you through a little bit more about the race tomorrow.
Official Runner Shakeout.
It's pretty. So we finished our shakeout run. It was really fun, and I was too shy to go and say hi to Chris. But at least I got to see her. Alright, we just got back from our shakeout run, which was so fun. It was way more fun than I expected it to be, and it really helped me at least get in the mood for tomorrow. That was from 9 to like 10:30, and then we walked around for a bit, 1 o'clock. Plan for the rest of the day is just to, well, actually I have a long list of things that I need to do before tomorrow. Just realized it's daylight savings tonight, which is a bonus. Totally forgot about that, so we get an extra hours of sleep. The shakeout run we went to was by Runner, the running app, which we actually did use for our training plan. And then we got influenced into buying the Runner top. Team Runner. And it has all the burrows.
The birds.
That's quite cool.
We'll be running through all those as part of the mara, which is pretty cool.
Right, I've showered, got into my merch, of course. Hydrating. This will be attached to me for the rest of the day. And I did make a list of everything that I do need to get done today. So I'll quickly run you through that. So we need to buy some food and organize where we're going to get coffee and things for the morning. We need to review where the pickup location is and just work back from the ferry time. Our ferry time is at 8:30 a.m. So I need to organize my Spotify playlist, which I'm very late to do. To lay out all of the clothes, the running belt, the gel, headphones, shoes, everything that I'm wearing tomorrow. I want to review the course outline and make a plan for when I want to hydrate. Charge everything, phone, camera, headphones, watch. Are you even running a marathon if you don't wear your marathon branded merch the night before the marathon? And then probably the week after?
Tell me you're running.
Something we didn't know about running the New York Marathon until the night before, literally while we're having dinner, is how much of a logistical puzzle it can be to coordinate with your supporters, your friends and your family, where they are going to stand in order to see you and for you to actually see them. So we were writing down what time we thought we would roughly reach every single mile. And then if you want to see your supporters multiple times, you also need to make sure they plan for the time to get from point A to point B to point C. You also need to make sure you know exactly where they're going to be standing, which side of the road, send them a photo of what you are wearing on race day, maybe know what they are wearing, what signs they have. If we did not do this, we would not have seen any of our supporters, and it was still pretty difficult to find them, even though we did this. So this is pretty much all the footage I have from Marathon Eve night. We did our flat lay, we were getting ready to go to sleep when I realized that I had forgotten something pretty important, and I spent the rest of the night pretty much crying.
It's marathon day, and I realized that I forgot my headphones last night, so I've actually been in a really foul mood since going to sleep. I'm just very, 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 very angry at myself for not being organized. This is just not how I expected to feel the night of and the morning of my first marathon and the New York City Marathon. Like, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. So anyway, apart from that, it looks like absolutely stunning outside. Stunning, but hopefully not too warm.
If you take away anything from this video, maybe it is that you can never be too prepared, you can never be too organized, and it never hurts to check, to double check, and maybe even to triple check, especially the night before your first marathon. Watching this in hindsight, I do think I was being a bit dramatic, but it wasn't necessarily about the headphones themselves, because I knew I could do the run without music. It was just a lack of organization that I was really annoyed at myself for.
Walking to the ferry, there's no one on the street. Kind of expected there to be lots of people. We didn't check where the ferry pickup was yesterday. Thankfully we found someone who told us where to go. Whew, it's very cold, which is good. It's good. Still walking to the ferry. It's a long ass walk. Oh, I see people, thank God.
Yeah, it's not welcome to the lake.
ferry
made
now.
it on the ferry.
Just
90
in time.
minutes to go.
So we just got off the ferry and it was about a 20-minute ride.
Not 90 minutes.
We're very confused because we thought it was a 90-minute ride. So not quite sure where we're going. Update, now we are on a bus and we did not realize the bus was part of our transport whatsoever.
The introvert in me definitely needed some time to just be in my own head, and this bus ride was perfect for that. So I actually really enjoyed the lengthy journey to the start line. The race village was also pretty quiet. People were definitely in their zone, whether they were listening to music or sitting in the corner in a little sleeping bag. It was really interesting to see what everyone does pre-race, and it was the perfect amount of time. We had 30 minutes to eat, to take off our layers, to lather ourselves in magnesium and amp human cream and deep heat and just get into the zone.
Welcome to the start. No going back.
Go time.
This is very, this area was very different to how I imagined. Like, there's no real vibe. There's no music. Everyone's kind of quiet. People are just like lying on the floor. People are sleeping bags and mattresses, which kind of makes sense. You just want to be in your zone. But yeah.
Corral or later wave starts. If you are assigned to wave,
Very nervous, very nervous.
Wave number 4. Wave number 4. On your mark. TCX New York City Marathon, and here they come. Runners from
Don't know how long till we cross the line.
all across the globe.
Woo! About to cross the start line. I'm so nervous. Ready? Do it! Oh fuck! This is it! Oh fuck! One bridge down. I don't know how many to go. I really should know. A few more? I have no idea how far we are. Maybe 3 miles. No idea. It's getting loud. Miles. So far so good. Still very crowded, which is not a bad thing.
Let's go.
Mile 6. Woo! Accidentally caught up to the 4:30 pacer.
Doing well.
Still early. Mile 7. Crowd insane. Feeling good soon. Mile 8. Crowded, but good. We're gonna see some friends at mile 9. insane. 9 miles. We're gonna see our friends at 9.3. Hopefully. Legs are getting sore. Mile 10. How you feeling?
Feeling good.
Yeah.
The knees a little bit sore, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Now I feel like I'm running. took this long. Ooh. Well, I don't need it. I cannot hear anything. This is insane. Halfway.
Almost halfway.
Let's go do that again. And then we're done.
Home stretch.
Pretty much. Can't remember what mile this is, but this is the Queensborough Bridge, which is meant to be pretty tough. It's quiet, but it's not as bad as I expected so far. Walked for a little bit. Mile 21. I had to stop and walk quite a bit. Feeling good though. Haven't hit any kind of wall, at least not mentally, but this is still hard.
Just feeling it.
Just feeling it as expected. Last bridge. I need to go to the toilet so bad. But 500 meters to go. Oh my god. That's the longest mile ever.
The end. Is that what we're trying for?
I'm going straight to the toilet.
Yeah, is what we're trying for.
Okay, got this. Finish line. Holy woo! My watch is 41.6. That was as expected, but it was still really rough.
No need to wait in line for a medal, my friends.
Any of the medal volunteers wheelchair coming through. Y'all doing so amazing. Great job. Woo!
That was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Really?
Really.
I mean, it was pretty hard. Tell you what though, it wasn't as hard as that 35k we did for me. Oh god, that was something else.
Oh, Jesus.
We will debrief later.
7.
It's a very long walk back to where we are staying, and it's very cold, but I think it's good for the legs. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. That's pretty good. And that was our New York Marathon 2024 experience.
Let's discuss.
I hope you're ready and you have collected your thoughts, because I have a lot of things to share.
I got a couple of things, that's all right.
Let's start with getting to New York.
So we probably took the longest route there. We're coming all the way from Melbourne, Australia, via Singapore. So we took the dreaded longest flight in the world, 18 hours, Singapore to New York direct. And yeah, that was that was an experience in itself. How did you cope with the travel?
I actually thought it was fine. I was dreading the 18-hour flight. I was very opposed to going on it, but it was fine. We paid for extra leg room, so we were right at the front. And yeah, I didn't think it was too bad at all. We tried to stay hydrated. We tried to eat well. Even on the flight, we were very, very conscious of the fact that we were going to be running later that week. So we stretched and we did all the things we could possibly do when you're stuck on a plane. And we arrived on a Tuesday evening and the run was on a Sunday. So we gave ourselves plenty of time to get adjusted to the new time zone, get over jet lag, and just get used to New York. And we were taken by surprise because this was late October in New York, and tell them what it was like.
No. So it was very hot. We did not expect that when we were planning our New York trip. It was 26 plus for the few days we arrived there. So 29th to about the 1st, it was hovering 26, 27, 25.
Celsius.
On the actual race day weekend, significantly dropped to a very brisk, cool 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Actually perfect for the run.
Yeah, it was crazy how the weather dropped literally for the Saturday and the Sunday that was race weekend, because that whole week prior, and I think even the week after, was really warm to the point where we were considering if we would have to buy summer clothes while we were there just to get through the rest of our trip. So that was very, very lucky. Obviously walked a lot, as you usually do in New York, so we were keeping the legs moving. We went for one 10K run, pretty easy 10K run on the Wednesday, and then I think on the Saturday we did a 5K shakeout. We went to a shakeout run organised by Runner. We actually did create our training plan using Runner, so that was cool. And we also got to fanboy and fangirl a little bit, because there were some people there that we have followed for a long time who were also doing the run, and we got to meet. So who did you meet at the Runner shakeout run?
Shakeout run, there was Kafuzi. Shout out Kafuzi and Matt Choi.
And Chris Hui, who I didn't get to say hi to. I was honestly just a little bit shy and I didn't know what to say. I was celebrity struck. I've been following her for probably like 5-6 years. So maybe I'll tag her in this video and then she will see this video. Yeah, but that was really fun. Then we went for a 5K around Central Park. It was pretty cruisy. And then the rest of the day was pretty much just hydrating, eating, and preparing for the next day. All right, on to the expo. So we were probably more excited for the expo than the actual race. Not actually, but we were maybe equally excited for it. Yeah, the expo was really well organized. It wasn't that busy, which was good. So by the way, we went on the first day. So the expo's open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We went on the first day, on the Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
And already by the Thursday afternoon on the first day, they were selling out of the more popular merch items. And a tip I would give someone who is really interested in specific merch is to try and go to the expo on the first day, maybe even the morning of the first day, because they were selling out of stuff like crazy. Like any other expo, you get to try different sports and running related products. So we tried lots of different electrolytes. We got some free gels. I think you bought some running sunglasses, which you used on the day.
Yeah, very
Luckily,
helpful, very helpful.
it was sunny on the day. I think our favorite part was going to like a course preview session where they literally took you mile by mile and told you what to expect and tips and talked you through where all the hydration stations would be. And it was just very, very informative, especially if you're not familiar with New York. I think I would highly recommend you, one, at least watch some videos about the course. They do release course previews, even little reels, which will give you an idea of what the course will look like, but then attending the actual informative sessions at the expo were really, really helpful. I can't remember what tips they shared now, but I do remember walking away feeling like, wow, I feel so much more prepared after hearing what these people were saying. And I think the people running the session were pacers, so like they really knew their stuff. Wait, let me start that again then. Forgot about that. Okay, now to the race day. Our start time was
one of the 10:55 a.m.
wave 4.
Wave 4 of 5.
Yeah. We were initially a bit gutted that we were in wave 4 just because you start so much later. I think the earlier wave started, like the first wave started at 8 and then maybe every 45 minutes or something they have
when it was, but
every other wave. But it makes sense because our finish, that many people and our targeted finish time was 4.5 hours. So naturally you start based on when you might finish. And I wouldn't necessarily have wanted to start at an earlier wave if I was running alongside people who were way faster than me, but I just wanted to run earlier in the morning and kind of just get over and done with. But it was fine because we didn't have to wake up at an absurdly odd hour, like 3 a.m., which is what I was originally thinking we would have to. So yeah, we were staying in Midtown and then we had to get our transport. Do you want to talk them through what that was like?
Yeah, so well, we woke up at probably 7. Then from there, walk down to the ferry pickup, or about a 20-minute walk.
Our ferry time was 8:30, which you pre-select, by the way.
I guess based on your start time.
Yeah, based on your start time, you have a number of options for which transport you can take. So ferry and bus, or just ferry. And you pick all of this in your New York Roadrunners dashboard, and it's very easy, very well explained, and you are ensured that you will get to the start line on time. Depending on your wave start, you will be given the right transport option. So plenty of toilets, by the way, plenty of toilets, like more than enough. You did not have to line up for more than 30 seconds for a bathroom. So that was good as well, because that can always be a bit uncertain on race day. In the half an hour that we waited in the village, once we got there, we pretty much just ate some food, lathered ourselves in magnesium, did all of our pre-race routine that, everyone will have that's specific to them. We stripped ourselves of our warm clothing. So they tell you to wear old clothes that you're willing to donate, because obviously it's cold and you don't want to be carrying your jackets around. So you just dispose or donate any clothing that you're wearing that morning. So we did that on the way to the start line. And so we actually were in the same wave, but we were in different corals. And so you can join a later coral. So I think yours was later than mine. So I jumped into yours, but he couldn't jump into mine because mine was earlier.
You can't go forward, you can go backwards.
Yeah. So if you're basically running with other people, that's one way in which you can, as long as you're in the same wave. Oh, maybe you can also.
No, you can always go backwards anytime.
Okay. So if you are running with other people, that's one way you can make sure you start together, is basically just go to the latest wave and latest coral between all of you. One thing I'll say about the starting is I felt like there wasn't much of a vibe. Like the whole transport and then the village, like there was no music, there was no speakers. Again, very different to any other half marathon I've done, which, they've all been a lot smaller, but I feel like there's a lot of atmosphere leading to the start line. In this case, maybe because it's such a long journey and, the village is quite big as well, and then you have to walk to the start of the bridge. It's a large area, so maybe that's why, but I kind of thought there would be a bit more atmosphere
before you actually got to like the start line itself. But yeah, the start line, there was some good vibes kicking off.
Yeah, in the village, as you said, it was a lot emptier than I expected. I thought it was going to be packed with people, but
Which is good.
Maybe in our area, maybe there was another area, but as we approached the start line, that's when things sort of got real. We got to see the hundreds and thousands of people walking to the start line with us. They were playing the US national anthem. Oh, someone singing it actually.
Yeah.
And then the iconic Frank Sinatra New York song, which got stuck in our heads for the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
That was playing as we crossed the start line, which is very cool as well.
And when you start, because you do start on the bridge, I forgot what bridge it is. Is it the Staten Island? Staten Island Bridge. Some people start at the top and some people start at the bottom. And because there's just so many people. And so eventually you all merge. I think as you go into Brooklyn, you merge, but there are just that many people that,
Like 8K or 9K or something? Everyone merges?
Yeah, a good 8-9 kilometers. Now onto the actual race. So we're at the bridge. We eventually walk up to the start line. And I think you're like slowly jogging over the start line again.
It is, yeah, because it's so busy as well.
Yeah.
It's hard to get, I don't know, like a good jump straight out of the box.
Yeah, which is not too dissimilar from other races because the start is always going to be slow with that many people. Now the run itself, I mean, obviously you saw the vlog, so you might already have a bit of an idea of how it went. I will say that the first half marathon felt like nothing. For me personally, I'll let you speak for yourself. I only felt like I was running probably at, like mile 14. And I think mile 14 is also when you sort of come to the end of like the big Brooklyn crowds. So that could also be the coincidence, but that was really nice because all of the training runs, like I felt like I was running 21 kilometers before I got to 21 kilometers, but this, I was like, wow, I feel so good at 21 kilometers. And then after that, it's kind of like, okay, now I feel like I'm in this.
Now you're doing a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, the start, I think, a mix of the crowd, the training we did the weeks, months prior really helped. Start didn't really feel that intense. I guess again, how hard you push yourself.
So we were targeting 4.5 to 4:45, and we were actually ahead of the 4-hour 30 paces for, I would say, majority of the first half. And I didn't even realize. And as they say, don't start too quickly, pace yourself. It's really hard to do that. And I
You're too excited.
I did feel like, I'm going a bit faster than I normally would. And I know I shouldn't because I have so much longer to go, but you just, you really, I guess, ride the atmosphere of the crowds, which were insane.
Insanely electric.
Yeah. What people say about the New York Marathon atmosphere is completely true, and it was even better than I had expected.
Yeah, so like the crowd is just insane throughout the whole way. There were periods where there was no crowds. On the bridge where we started from Staten Island going into Brooklyn, it was just the runners, but wherever there was a crowd, it was insane.
Especially Brooklyn. Crazy, like to the point where it was so loud you could not hear your music. So I forgot to mention that I actually ran without headphones because I lost my headphones the night before. Couldn't find them. Was really annoyed at myself. Let's not dwell on it. But it actually worked out really well because, I mean, you had your headphones.
Yeah, well, I had my headphones. I planned to, listen to music throughout the whole run. But I was pausing a lot. Just one, because I couldn't really hear my music because everyone was cheering so loudly. And two, just wanted to soak everything in. It was, insane. Yeah.
Some other things to note about, I guess, throughout the whole course is there were some parts that were quite narrow. Like
very narrow, yeah.
Yeah, so again, you kind of slow down, and I didn't necessarily expect that.
Yeah. I think, the crowds, they're sort of just like condensed a lot in some areas, which I don't know if they should have, because it got very narrow.
One of the things you hear is because the crowds are so insane, you need to like really mentally prepare yourself for the times where there are no crowds, which is most like all the bridges. Now, I don't know how you found it, but I thought that it wasn't actually too bad. And I think it was because we were quite prepared. So my expectation was that, especially one of the bridges, I forget which one, one of the bridges is going to be horrible. That's what everyone tells you. And even all the pre-race course information tells you this bridge sucks and you are going to struggle. I didn't find it too bad at all, and I think it was because I was mentally expecting it to be so bad, which was really pleasant because we got to the end of this bridge. I'll put which bridge it was. I'll have to look it up. And I was like, oh, was that it? And then we were on to more crowds. So that was really nice. I think the more prep you do and the worse you expect it to be, the better it can be.
Yeah, I think I struggled a little bit on the bridge. I think I faded and dropped a bit back, a bit behind you.
Walked a little bit.
Walked a little bit, but yeah, popped some gels, got some energy bars, and back to 100%.
Lots of downhills. That's the other thing is we've done a few half marathons, which I would say were way hillier than this one. And going into this, like, again, because there are so many bridges, I just expected, wow, everything's going to be so steep. But again, maybe it was the expectation. Maybe it's because we did the right training. It really wasn't that bad. And the good thing about having elevation is it's eventually going to come down, like especially if it's a bridge. And I would say there were heaps, like the downhills were long. Some of the bridges are so big that you're just going down for ages, and that was really, really nice. There were some flat areas, so personally I really struggled mile 18 to 19. I think this is when you go into Queens and it's just straight road for so long. I think actually it has like a tiny gradual incline. This is where we were also waiting or looking around for our supporters in the crowd, which another tip to share is if you have people who are going to be supporting you, you need to know exactly where they will be and which side. So it's not going to be good enough for them to say, oh, we'll be around this mile. No, you need to know exactly where in that mile, which side, what are they going to be holding, maybe what they'll be wearing. They should know what you're wearing so they can look out for you. Because
we had a couple people come to cheer us on, which definitely helped. We had our friends in Brooklyn, and they were very good. They were 9.3, where at this corner there were
this
truck we're standing to the right of this truck, right on the corner outside this shop, and exactly where we expected them to be, they were there and gave us the boost we needed.
Needless to say, like the last 5 miles of the run, 6 miles, like it's hard.
It's a push.
It's a push. I felt so good. I think you felt you started to feel better. I think you were struggling in the middle, and then you kind of improved. I started declining, not because so one thing we both debriefed about is we never hit the wall.
Yeah.
At least not
elusive wall.
As far as we know. I've definitely hit the wall before on training runs, but I did not hit the wall, which was amazing. It was just like general fatigue. Just, oh my gosh, my legs hurt. I feel like I need to stop and just like give them a good 5-minute stretch, which is why I had to walk a bit. And especially as we started getting to the last few miles, I had to stop and start like walk a lot. We never stopped anywhere. But, I forgot to tell them about the incident. I forgot to tell you about the incident.
No.
It's okay. So I did poo my pants during the run. I cannot believe I forgot to mention this. Maybe it's been like scratched out of my memory. I think it was about mile 20 maybe that I did in fact poo my pants. Probably excess gels, maybe some nerves. It's never happened to me before ever. It was kind of building up for a long time. I felt uncomfortable. I had cramps. I tried to go to a portaloo, but the lines for all the portaloos along the race were long, and I didn't want to waste time. So eventually it just came out, and it was what it was. It's fine. I didn't want to waste time on that, but I think it did affect my performance on the day, but that's okay.
dealt with it like a boss though. Like you kept going. You were
Yeah.
determined to finish.
I mean, you're already sweaty, you already smell, so what's some poo? Pooing the street, pooed myself in the streets of New York. What an experience. The crowds definitely ramp up again towards, like in the last 2 kilometers. You enter Central Park once around
Towards the end, yeah.
towards the end, but then you come out again. So it's not like the first time that you enter Central Park
Is the end.
is the end. You're not nearing the end. You actually will leave. You'll run along 5th Avenue, which I was struggling then. I was just done by that point. But the last 2 miles, or 1 mile at least, amazing because so much downhill. Like you mostly finish on a downhill, which was really, really nice.
Yeah. And yeah, we talk about the Brooklyn crowd, but the Central Park crowd is matching or another level to push you to finish. It was, very cool experience.
Yeah. And yeah, like obviously we crossed the finish line. I didn't look at the time until like later that night. I didn't even care. Feeling good as you can. Didn't want to like collapse, definitely shed a tear upon finishing. But the end, again, you'll learn about this when you're preparing for the New York Marathon. When you finish, you just keep moving. Like you finish, they give you your medal, and you walk for like another, was it 2 kilometers or 2 miles?
2 mile and a half.
Okay, so just
they give you like your, because it is cold when you finish. I think when you're running, you don't feel the cold, adrenaline, sweating, your body's warm. But then when you stop, you cool down.
Instantly.
It is cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, they give you a nice big poncho to wrap yourself in as you make that dreaded walk out of Central Park.
And it wasn't, I would say it wasn't fun. Like, I think one thing that, again, we've experienced in other half marathons we've done is there's a really cool vibe at the end. Like you take your photos, there's music. And I think with this, there's just so many people that they just have to keep you moving and there's no one there. Like no supporters are there because there's just no space for crowds. Yeah. So you walk for another, couple of K and then obviously you're walking quite slowly because you're tired.
You want it to end.
Yeah.
Like, it just keeps going and
going. And then obviously you have to then make it home because it's New York. We had to then catch the subway. Like it was a good, maybe like hour and a half, maybe till we got
finishing.
home.
Yeah.
Which was pretty miserable. But again, it's kind of like, you know it's coming, but I think it was a bit shit. That's fine. And that's a wrap. I would say it took me like a week and a half to recover. I still have a bit of nagging pains in my heel. So I hear that it can take your body up to 3 months to like truly, truly recover from a full marathon. But yeah, how was your recovery the week of? The week of,
that was, it took a while. I think walking around wasn't too bad, but going down those subway stairs every so often, it is like the images and videos you see. One step at a time, hobbling onto the train. It's rough. And it took probably a good 4 days, 4 or 5 days to get out of that. And then for us to, walk around New York and do a bit more. But yeah, I hope we didn't forget anything. Like I said at the start of this video, I have been waiting to do this, make this video and obviously do this run for the longest time. This is probably the one video I have wanted to make on my channel forever. So I'm really excited to have finally done this and to have done it with you. So that was nice. So yeah, if you got this far, thank you so much for watching and for coming with us through our first marathon experience and obviously first New York City Marathon experience. If you are running in the New York City Marathon, leave a comment below. Whenever you watch this video, I hope this video will be on YouTube and
useful for someone for years to come.
Yeah, 25, 26,
Yeah.
27.
I was telling them at the start that I think we've watched every single video on the internet about the New York City Marathon.
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
There's a lot out there. We watch them all because I just feel like you cannot be prepared enough. Everyone's experience is different, and because it's not like you just rock up to a start line, there's so much that goes into the organization and the prep, getting to the start. So it's really helpful to watch other people's experience. So yeah, I hope this helps you if you're running. If you're not running and you just watch this for entertainment, thank you. Appreciate it. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.